host of the most, Aaron Cass. I am doing a solo dolo show today on the Fake Football Analyst podcast. We're Broncos country. Let's waddle. But before we do that, make sure you guys, it'll pop up on me. Make sure you guys follow us on TikTok, on Fake Football Analyst, and on Twitter, _Fake Analyst. And make sure you guys like, subscribe, and follow the Fake Football Analyst on YouTube. We greatly appreciate all the followers that we have and all the views that we have. We're trying to get a little bit bigger, so make sure you guys, tell a friend, tell anybody, and make sure you guys like, subscribe, and follow. It really helps us out. But let's get to the big juicy part here. So yesterday, the Miami Dolphins thought it was cool to trade away their best receiver, Jaylen Waddle, as they cut Tyreek Hill earlier in the offseason. Now, Miami, as you can see on the bottom here, they received 2026 first-round pick, third-round pick, and fourth-round pick for Jaylen Waddle. Denver gets, obviously, Jaylen Waddle, and then this year's fourth-round pick. To me, I feel like it's an easy win for Denver, but you can also say it's an easy win, too, for Miami. So it's kind of like a stalemate in this trade just because Miami's going to rebuild a little bit. Like, Devon Achane's the only one that's left, in that offensive room. He feels like that Will Smith episode in the last episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where he's just standing in the living room by himself. So, hats off to Devon Achane. Maybe he can try to figure out a way to get out of there. I don't think he will, but, hats off to him for being the only one left. Jaylen Waddle, though, the first 3 years that he was in the league, 1,000-yard receiving yards. He missed one game in 2024, and he had 744 yards and 2 touchdowns. I believe he was hurt for some of the year. I think it was like a hamstring problem or anything, maybe like an ankle too. I'm not quite sure, but last year he bounced back. He played all 16 games, 910 yards, 6 touchdowns. So Denver's getting a reliable number 2. Even with Tyreek Hill at the seam, when Tyreek Hill had I believe almost 2,000 yards for receiving, Jaylen Waddle had 1,000 yards. So the fact that he's paired up with Courtland Sutton, J.K. Dobbins is back in the backfield. You got Bo Nix at quarterback. They went to the AFC Championship game. This is a solid number 2 for the Denver Broncos. I would talk more about Miami, but they're just in disarray, so there's really not much to talk about them. But on the Denver point of view of Bo Nix, he's coming off his foot injury that happened in the divisional game last year, and he couldn't play in the AFC Champ. That's Jarrett Stidham. But with Jaylen Waddle, I feel like in this offense with Sean Payton, I can see him being a Marquise Colston. I would say Marquise Colston just because the way that Marquise Colston was in New Orleans with Sean Payton and Drew Brees, phenomenal receiver. He's not Hall of Fame worthy, but he's like in the Hall of Good. And I feel like Jaylen Waddle can really capulate that and be that Marquise Colston that Sean Payton's looking for. I love Troy Franklin. I love, I don't really love Evan Ingram, but he is a tight end. Other than that, though, who do you really have a receiver? Yeah, you have Marvin Mims, but Courtland Sutton's your guy. He's your number 1. Marvin Mims is not really number 2. I could see him in the slot. I could also see Troy Franklin in the slot. You need a solid number 2, especially for this offense. You made it to the AFC Championship game, like I just said earlier. You can do this with Jaylen Waddle. You can go back to the AFC Championship game. And quite frankly, I think if Jaylen Waddle was on this Denver Broncos team, I think they have a shot at beating the Patriots. In all honesty, Jarrett Stidham was okay, but the fact that you would have him, Marvin Mims, Courtland Sutton, I feel like that would be deadly combination for secondaries. But that's just me. What do I know? I'm just a Giants fan. I'm not a Denver fan. But I do love that Jaylen Waddle, though, is on the Denver Broncos. It gives them new life. It gives them new breathing room. He actually is in a competent organization with Sean Payton running the squad. Bo Nix is a better quarterback than Tua. I will say it here right now, and I'm not saying it just because of the concussions that Tua has sustained. I just feel like with Bo Nix at the helm, he's going in his 3rd year, but he is an older quarterback. And I feel like with all that experience that he had in college, the 2 years that he put together here in Denver, went to the playoffs twice, I think we've not seen the best of Jaylen Waddle. And yeah, he only has 5,000 yards receiving. I'm saying it like an emphasis, like only 5,000 yards. But I feel like he'll go back to the 1,000-yard producer that we've seen with Mike McDaniel down in Miami. And now you have Sean Payton. I mean, yeah, you do have former quarterback Davis Webb as the offensive coordinator, but let's be real here. It's Sean Payton's team. He runs the offense. And Sean Payton's mind is a lot better than Mike McDaniel. I mean, he has a Super Bowl for it. So, I mean, let's be real here. But again, I feel like with this offense, he could become the Marquise Colston that Sean Payton's been looking for. And people are going to say, well, what about Cortland Sutton? No, Cortland Sutton's Cortland Sutton. That's fine. Like I'm not going to compare him to anyone. If you really want me to compare, I'll say Joe Horn, but that's just kind of a reach. I feel like with this Marquise Colston, see, I'm talking about Marquise Colston. With this Jaylen Waddle acquisition, like I said, Marquise Colston, he's going to run this offense well. He's a speedster. We've seen it at Alabama. We've seen it in Miami. He's only fumbled 3 times in his career. So he definitely doesn't have a problem dropping passes or fumbling the ball trying to get to the touchdown. He averaged 14.2 yards a catch. I mean, that's perfect for what they're trying to do in this air raid in Denver. So Davis Webb has a great new receiver. Sean Payton has a new great receiver. I feel like everything's going to be good when it comes to the Denver Broncos this year. Miami, I mean, if we really want to talk about it, they have their 30, I think it's the 30th pick for the Denver Broncos. So they'll have the 30th pick. And I believe they have a first round pick in the earlier first round. I'm just going to check right now real quick. Sorry about that, folks. I know I have it on here. I'm just trying to find it. My phone's a little slow today. So they would have, I don't care about Mel Kiper. There we go. So they would have the 11th pick. So if I'm Miami in this situation with Jaylen Waddle, I would try to get Cardinal Tate, Jordan Tyson from Arizona State. That's another good receiver. He's smaller, but he's not a bad receiver. And I'm saying it as a reach for them just because it's the Miami Dolphins. They'll definitely do something like this unless Jeff Hasley will go defense because that's what he's primarily known for in Green Bay and in Boston College, and he was the head coach there. So I can see them getting a receiver in the first round. Like I said, Cardinal Tate, Jordan Tyson. They can even go Makai Lemon from USC. Again, he's kind of another small guy, but he's very athletic, and I feel like that would work well with what they're trying to do with Malik Willis. He is a pocket passer, even though he does have some legs. I feel like Malik Willis is going to need some receivers right now. He doesn't really have any, so that would be good for Miami. Again, like Denver is set because why get a receiver in the first round of this year for Bo Nix when you can just trade for one? So for one, again, I'm cool with Jaylen Waddle. I'm cool with everything that's going on for Broncos country. Let's waddle. But before we end the show, make sure, again, you guys like, subscribe, follow us on Fake Football Analysts. We're going to put out more videos in the off season just like this one. So just keep a lookout for it. There's a little bell in the corner. It goes ding. So that way you guys can see when we put up videos. And also to make sure you guys follow us on TikTok, Fake Football Analysts, and on Twitter or X. I call it Twitter. _fake analyst. But that has been another episode of the Fake Football Analyst podcast. I'm your host with the most, Aaron Cass. We will see you when we see you. Peace.